Hey y'all, and welcome back to the Railroad, and welcome to episode 3 of Random Running Session. Now if you don't know what Random Running Session is, it's exactly what it sounds like. I randomly choose locomotives from my HO model collection, and I run them. And of course, to decide which locomotive I run, I use this nifty website called Random Wheel. With a click of the button, this wheel will turn and will randomly land on a locomotive, and that's what we run. Now before we get started, I have a bit of bonus content for you. I know I don't post a lot of real life trains on this channel, but I just thought this was too interesting not to talk about. So just earlier today, I went train watching with my friend, Northern Virginia Railfan. He's a fellow YouTuber. I'll definitely link his channel in the description. And we saw this awesome Norfolk Southern Heritage unit. It's number 911, honoring the first responders. And I just thought this was really cool. We didn't plan this. We didn't go to see it. It was just there when we showed up, and I thought it was really cool, and I thought I would show you guys. Now, I'm going to ask you, would you guys be interested in seeing more real-life train videos? I do go train watching every once in a while, and if you guys want to see it, I'll be more than happy to post some of my findings. Well, back to model trains. We're going to give the wheel a spin and see just exactly we will be running first today. What will it be? The New York Central Streamlined Hudson. I used this one in the intro. I didn't have this planned or anything. This is definitely one of the favorites in my collection. I just love this locomotive. Probably one of my top locomotives of all time. Even though sadly none of them exist anymore. But at least we have models. Now let's see, what will that be pulling today? Ooh, freight. So this is not going to be realistic. Of course I know Hudsons, they were streamlined passenger trains. But it'll be fun to see with some freight, I think. Right? Now, of course, I have two tracks, so I always like to run two things at a time. So let's see, what will be running alongside it? Well, the first Thomas and Friends character we've seen in this series, Percy the Tank Engine, will be running alongside the New York Central Hudson. And what will Percy be pulling today? Freight. So we're going to have two freight trains, one locomotive that doesn't exist anymore, and one locomotive that never really existed in real life. So I'm going to set them on the track, and I'll see you in a second. Alright, so I've set up the trains on the track. Before we get going, I want to do a quick overview of them. So here's the absolutely beautiful River Rossing New York Central Streamlined Hudson. It's a pretty old model, but in my opinion, it still looks great, runs pretty well too. So this is definitely an all-time classic of my collection. Behind it, the first piece of rolling stock is a Spirit of 76 Tyco boxcar. Just a little interesting thing I have. Then we have the Tyco auto rack. Been showing off this one a lot lately, but that's just because I really like it. The old Tyco stuff, it's not very realistic. It's not really all that good, but it definitely has a charm to it. Then on the end here, I'm excited to show you guys these, because these are the newest additions to my entire collection. These are two Canadian grain cars. You want to know what the best part about these were? They were 100% free. To shout them out again, my good friend Northern Virginia Railfan gave me these cars for nothing in return. I was super generous of him, so there's two reasons to shout him out now. Highly recommend if you like train watching videos and trains in general, go check out his channel. He's a really great guy. So on the outer loop, we of course have Percy. This is a Bachmann model. The Bachmann Thomas models, you obviously can't expect too much from them. They're pretty low detail, but they look just like the characters on the show, and that's really what they were trying to go for. So I can appreciate it for that. This one has kind of been a joke in my collection. I always use it to test new pieces of track, because between you and me, this is definitely my least valuable model. If this one breaks, I'm not going to be too upset. But I love it all the same, because, you know, have to love all your engines. So behind them, we have three troublesome trucks facing in various directions. Also Bachmann models, pretty cheap, nothing too much to them. I just think they're kind of funny. And of course, we have his classic mail car. Can't have Percy without the mail. And a Thomas and Friends brake van. This is definitely my favorite Thomas and Friends thing I own. Pretty much just because I can use it without a Thomas and Friends character. It looks just like a basic British brake van, so I like it for that, and I think it does its job pretty well. So let's try and get these engines moving over at the controls. Now the Hudson, it does usually take a bit to get warmed up, so that one might not start right away. Percy should be fine. let's flick it on. Yeah, you can maybe hear it. I have my microphone in right now, so probably not actually. But you usually have to give it just a little tap. Let me give it a bit more power. It's also on a switch, so can't give it too much trouble. Again, it just kind of needs to warm up. It will be moving a lot faster here in a bit. Alright, maybe I'll get that one started off camera. Percy should be fine though. If we go over here, second controller. Yep. Well, I guess I ate my own words. He is giving me problems. I think his motor is about to give up the ghost. I don't know. Well, sorry about my finger there. But I don't know what's really wrong with him, but he's been acting up a little. Alright, well, I'll get the Hudson moving, and I hope you guys enjoy the running session. Well, that's going to do it for the first running session of this video, but we always like to do 2 here, so let's go choose some more random locomotives. So we're now back at the wheel, ready for the second spin of the day, so let's see exactly what we will get. The ICE train, another favorite of my collection, one of the more recent engines too. So unfortunately I can't roll the rolling stock wheel for this because it has to pull coaches. It's an EMU, so it has a special type of coupling, which means it can only pull the coaches that it was assigned to. But whatever, spin the wheel again, see what will be running next to it. German electric engine. So technically both of these are German electric engines. This one is just a super vague title because I don't actually know what it's called. But once you see it, I'm sure somebody will know what it is. So we actually have double German trains today. Pretty neat. Let's go to rolling stock because the German electric engine can actually run with rolling stock behind it. Let's see, what will it be pulling? Freight. So we have 2 very interesting locomotives. I'm going to set them up on the track and I'll see you in a second. Back on the layout now, and I've set up both trains. So let's start with the ICE. This locomotive is definitely one of my favorites. I always say that about pretty much every locomotive, but this one I really mean it. It's just so cool. I love the design. I always love the European stuff. Not too much to talk about. It is a pretty basic design, but I still love it. This one is a bit more interesting. This is a Fleischmann German Electric. I don't know the exact classification, so that's why I just have it as German Electric on the wheel. But I think this one's just really neat because you don't really see electric engines with connecting rods like that. Pretty cool. Also, these pantographs do move up, but I prefer to keep them down just in case. I only have 2 pieces of German rolling stock. I believe this is, funnily enough, a beer car. I didn't know that when I bought it and I did a Google Translate. And I don't know what this is. This is something else. So a pretty short freight train, but still a freight train. So let's see if I can get these moving. Both of these do run pretty well, so they shouldn't give me any problems. Just as expected, they run fine. So I hope you guys enjoy the running session. Well, that's going to do it for today's episode of Random Running Session. If you've made it this far in the video, I hope you enjoyed it, and make sure to leave a comment telling me what your favorite locomotive is, and some suggestions for future episodes. Really hope you enjoyed this, and bye for now.